r/TrueOffMyChest. 2 nights ago I accidentally overdosed on fentanyl and was revived. I live a split life where I hold down a full-time job, have a social life and family. The other half is my addiction to crack cocaine. I got addicted to coke in my 20s and it just spiraled from there. 2 nights ago I was hanging out with a friend who smokes dope and crack. I don't do opiates, so I'm always careful to not use their pipe. Well, they got mixed up and I hit their pipe in the dark of my car. I walked into the house and overdosed immediately since I have no tolerance. Fortunately there were people in the house who made sure I didn't die. I was told I went pale, gray, and clammy. The next thing I know is that I was waking up in the back of another person's car, presumably on the way to the hospital. Thank God I am alive. I feel awful today, but that's probably the after effects of the binge, the overdose, and the 2 hits of Narcan. I can't tell any of my real friends because I'm not ready to share this part about myself with them. Feelings of shame and guilt are heavy. I needed to write this out to process my near brush with death. I don't really know what to say. I'm probably going to my first NA meeting tomorrow. I'm not stranger to the 12-step program since I have plenty of friends in them. It's just crazy to me that I'm here. Thanks for reading. I'm leaving my terminally ill wife. My wife and I had 6 incredible years together before she was diagnosed with young-onset dementia 3 years ago. She is only 44. She is unrecognizable from the wonderful, vivacious, kind woman I married. That woman was the kind of person that lights up a room. I feel like I no longer know the person I'm married to. Her dementia means her behavior is radically different now and usually unpleasant. She goes through sundowning and becomes incredibly aggressive and hateful. Or hysterically tearful. Her mood swings are continuous and unpredictable. I have help from family and friends and Dementia UK, but it still doesn't make it bearable. She hardly knows me at best and hates me at worst. I've decided to leave. Not divorce, I need to be there legally to support her medical decisions, but leave the relationship. Pay for a carer to support her where I can't and eventually move her into a facility when that isn't enough. I know I'm evil for leaving, but I can't do this. I can't stand that she no longer loves me, barely even likes me. None of it's her fault, none of it is even her, but I just can't do it. I'm so sorry, B. My mother didn't protect me. This is long, sorry. My parents had a terrible marriage filled with every kind of abuse you can imagine, verbal, emotional, physical, financial, most likely also sexual. I watched him drag her down the hall and stairs by her hair, grab her by the hair and repeatedly slam her head against the wall to the point of giving her a concussion. He controlled everything we wore. He came home late raging and breaking the dinner plates and screaming so close to our faces that his spit would spray into our eyes and mouths. Oh, and did I mention the gambling addiction? He was a malignant narcissist surrounded by enablers. He would turn on the charm and had everyone fooled. My mother finally had enough and left him. She moved us back from Europe to the US, her home country, where we'd be close to her parents. To this day their house was the only place I ever felt safe. I thought surely things would be better now, but nope. When I was 9 she let her friend's father, early 70s, come stay with us. This man would routinely walk in on me and my friends while we were changing. I would tell my mother, but she was newly free and very wrapped up in herself at that point and brushed it off. So my mother would go out of town and that's who took care of me. This morning I, 40F, was speaking with my childhood best friend, 40F, about memories from our first school year together in 4th grade. She told me that the creepy old man grabbed her ass back then. She told her father and he apparently came and threatened to kill the guy if he didn't leave. And then he left. I didn't know any of that at the time and thought he had just left on his own accord. I'm praying my mother didn't know, or I'm not sure how I'll be able to forgive her. My childhood was then further filled with an endless stream of creepy old men making lewd comments, and my mom never stopped them, no matter how much I told her I was uncomfortable. I've discussed all of the above with my mother before. She had a late-in-life Asperger's diagnosis, and anytime I confront her about all this, she blames it on not being able to accurately gauge people's intentions. That doesn't excuse her from not listening to me when as her child I was literally telling her all this and saying that I felt uncomfortable. Needless to say, I have a lot of resentment. I'm also scared that something might have happened to me and I have repressed it. What are the odds with all those vile men around that nothing would have ever happened? I'm going to have to end a friendship and it's gutting me. Some years ago I had joined a group of people playing games. I was invited by this guy, and thinking back at it, it was truly one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments, just randomly playing a game and being told, "Hey, you want to join us?" We have been friends for 4 years since 2019, and it's probably the strongest and most transparent friendship I've ever had. I wasn't working at the time and I had just graduated, so I had a ton of free time and all I did was play games all day and just have fun. Time passes and we become more and more friends, and this is the part where I become a piece of shit and a garbage human being and friend. A female friend of his joins the group to hang out and play sometimes. We all start having a great time and they both have a thing going on, eventually getting together. In all of this she also starts flirting with me, and I, being the lonely fuck that I am, get allured and flirt back, eventually getting feelings for her. Being a horrible friend, I should have just stopped and brought this to my friend's attention. This keeps on going for a while and eventually it gets discovered. It had been going on for months and it was really eating me alive, so I had already thought about leaving, but me and my friend talked it out anyways. Understandably he didn't want to see me anymore and he was upset, so I just left, and for the entire year of 2022 I am alone doing my own thing. Fast forward to October 2022 and I get a message on my phone from the girl saying that she wanted to talk, and I was hesitant at the start because I was really hurt. Then I get a text from my friend saying that he wanted to talk it out. He said that he had forgiven me and he just wanted to have fun and play games again like the old times. I accepted after thinking about it for a bit. I was alone and I have to admit that I missed those times, so after pondering for a while I decided to go back. I discover that they are to be married. It kind of hit me like a brick to the stomach, but I decided to go on either way because it was fun to be back. Eventually I find out that I hadn't worked out my issues as well as I thought I did, and I might have had some leftover feelings for her. Immediately told my friend, who was extremely understanding and didn't have any resentment, and we talked about it. My distress was so high that he must have talked to the girl who sent me a message, revealing that she never liked me back and that her flirting was all for attention and none of it was real. I was devastated to say the least. I had some vibes of being used for attention, but I was never completely sure. Thinking about it is one thing, being actually told was another. I decided that I valued our friendship and that I forgave her and tried to move past it, although it's hard talking to someone who lied to you and it's hard to understand what's real and what's not. My interactions with her were always one-sided when I came back, in my opinion. Conversations often revolved around her, exchanging memes without even a text sent, and often I felt used and felt like I was there for convenience. After that my friendship with her slowly started fading. I don't consider us friends with anymore, and so half the reason why I came back is now gone. The only thing holding everything together is my friendship with my friend. Last month he went overseas to meet her for a month. It was a harsh time for me, not knowing exactly what to do. This is the point in which I discover that I developed a codependence for him, so to say. I have a hard time knowing what to do if I'm alone, and it's creating issues for me. The plan was always that when they would get married she would come over here and not the opposite. Instead, when he came back he told me the opposite, that he was going to move overseas to the US to be with her. This was unexpected to say the least. It gutted me and it took away the breath out of my lungs when I heard that. He's going to move overseas, which means that between his job, responsibilities, and time zones we just won't be able to spend time together, probably at all. I don't spite him or her in any way. I have no hatred for anyone, and some people might say that it's a petty reason to break a friendship, and that's alright. I think that anyone in relationships can set their own boundaries based on their need. I'm going to lose one of my best friends not because I choose to, but because I feel like I have to, and it's gutting me.